So very good morning guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a rainy day outside, so I thought I'd spend a little bit of time just running through a quick review of this Sony ICD-UX560, a remote video recorder. I've been using it now for about 4 months, so it's really just to give you an update of how I found it and also whether you should go out and buy it, whether it's good for your vlogging setup. So as I say, I've used it out in the field. I usually use the Rode VideoMic, which mounts on top of the Fuji XT3 that I use, but I found sometimes that when I've been talking to it, I'll turn my head away and then I'm losing the voice from the Rode VideoMic, being as it's directional. And also sometimes when you want to do artistic shots where you may want to set the camera down and walk up a path and have a chat to the camera, obviously the voice recorder will pick up your voice as you walk up to the camera and pass, whereas the Rode VideoMic, which is mounted to the camera, won't. So that was one of the reasons for doing it. This Sony Recorder itself is very small. It's probably about half the size of a mobile phone. It fits in your pocket, so you don't know you're carrying it, which is a real plus point to it. There is a few negatives to it which I have found, which I'll mention a little bit later, but on the whole it's a cracking product. Now this was around about £90 from Amazon when I bought it, but now the price I noticed the other day was about £75, so it's come down quite a bit in price. So I'm not sponsored by anybody, I purely do these videos as a means of giving a bit of feedback to other amateur photographers, videographers out there that enjoy creating stuff just as a creative outlet to their daytime jobs, so you can get out the weekend and enjoy yourself with this as a hobby. So I use lots of reviews on YouTube for kit that I tend to buy, whether it be cameras, mounts, anything really on there. I think YouTube's such a valuable resource these days, so it's nice to give a little bit back to the community, just to share my findings with these things. If you're looking to purchase a piece of equipment, then you get a real world review from other people in similar situations that obviously have to pay for this kit out of their own money. So do you really need this voice recorder? Well, it depends on what you're planning to do with your videoing. The Rode VideoMic is great for run and gun shooting. If you want to do those more artistic shots, as I say, where you're walking and talking away from the camera, then this just fits the bill great. You plug your lav mic into it, you can set it up and start recording. The issue I've had is trying to pair the footage from the camera to the audio from the Sony Recorder afterwards. So I'd love any tips for that. At the moment, what I'm having to do is to click my fingers like that, so I get a bit of a sound peak on the voice and on the video clips, so that when I go into DaVinci Resolve, which is the software that I use, I can match the clips up and then the voice will match up with the lip sync from the video. So it does take a little bit longer just to sync up the video clip with the audio in production when you're putting your video together. The only other issue I've had is with the record button also acts as the pause button. So when you press record, the same button will also pause it. So if you don't lock it using the dial on the side, then you can accidentally run into problems where you've paused your recordings without realising it, which is what happened to me. I was down the beach, chatted away 15 minutes, and then afterwards came back and realised that it had been paused, so all my voice was lost. I have turned the beeps on now, so it gives a single tone for record and a double beep for the pausing on it, which I think will help a little bit. If not, you can just start it and lock it, so it's not the end of the world, but it was just something that I ran into with it. So on the Sony Recorder itself, from a size point of view, as you can see on my hand, it's probably about half the size of a mobile phone. It's very light. Nice touch buttons on the front and just a nice feel to it generally. On the top here we've got a left and a right microphone, and on the top here 2 ports, one for your lavalier mic, external mic to go in, and also if you want to monitor your video recording from your headphones, you've got the jack to do that. Also, as we work around left hand side, as we look, we have the pull down to power on, and then we push it up. It's effectively a hold button which locks all the buttons on the recorder, so it stops you accidentally pressing anything on there. Volume for playback. You can put music on there, which I'll show you the option, but it's not something I'd ever do. And then on the bottom, so the way to transfer files from here is a little geared USB switch, which, as you can see, a little trap door on the bottom, and as you push, the door opens and the USB opens up on there, which you can plug straight into your computer, and then from your file manager you can just drag your audio files into your project, and it's nice because it keeps it out of the way. Now I can see some issues with that. If it's plugged into USB port, that maybe that could get a little bit damaged, so probably something to be careful with. Got a little bit on the bottom here to attach a strap if you need to, and then over on the left hand side is the port to add a micro SD on there. This comes with a 4GB internal memory, which gives a lot of recording time. Batteries apparently last about 27 hours, and I think it's got up to 159 hours worth of recording time on that 4GB, so you're not going to run out of it anytime soon. If we power down, I'll pull down the power it off just to show you the boot up time on it. So that's how quick it's on. And then if you just want to go straight into recording, hit the record button, and then off you go, you're away. As I say, it's always probably worth just putting it into the hold mode or the lock mode while you're recording. I've turned the beeps on, as I mentioned earlier, just because if I do accidentally push it, it gives a double beep, tells me or warns me that it's paused, and then a single beep to start recording again. At the top here, it's giving you a little bit of analysis on your sound levels, decibels, etc. And then when you're ready, you just hit the stop button, and then that's saved back. Going into the options on there, if we go back to the home button, you've got the option to play music on here if you want to. It's not something I'm ever going to do. Your recorded files, so if you click into there, it gives you your latest recordings. You also got the option there to do searches by recording dates, etc. if you've got a lot of recordings on there. And then we just hit play, so you can hear that running off on there. Next option is the record options on here. That just goes straight into your record settings, and then the actual main settings itself. There's a lot to go in here. I'm not going to run through all the settings on here. You've got recording settings, so you can set up folders, set scene selects, which give the option to loud music, soft music, interviews, etc. You've got record mode, which I use MP3 and 192 kbs on there. I'm not a sound engineer, so this just works for me for my recordings. You can change the sensitivity of the built-in mic, external input settings on there, and you can choose for voice or music. And then you have the option there, there's a medium. You can then change focus depending on what you're recording on there, a high, auto, and a low. So plenty of stuff there to get involved in. As I say, I tend to just want to be fire and forget, which works for me. And then we just come back to the return on there. Other options you've got down the bottom there, so delay, scene selects, recording modes. The manuals that come in the box aren't particularly great, I have to say, so it's worth investing a bit of time maybe in the online one, but once you set it up, you can pretty much just fire and forget, which is what you want when you're in the field, just to be able to get those recordings done. So that's the overview of the little Sony unit there. So guys, that's my quick review of this Sony voice recorder. I hope it's been useful to you and helps you out with your recording ventures in the future. If you need to buy the the lav mic to go with it. The Rode ones are excellent. They do come in two versions. There's one with a grey lead, which is for mobile phones, and there was also one that you can buy which goes directly into cameras. I didn't want to spend out for a second one of these, so you can buy the little S3, buy the little S3, so you can buy the little S3, so you can buy the little SC3 adapter, which will convert the phone lav mic through for the camera. Anyway, guys, that's it. I hope it's been useful to you. Plenty more reviews coming in the future, a few adventures as well coming up, or I'm out and about with the camera taking some photographs. So subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and we'll catch up soon.